if it's outside the district, the CCID district.
Well, I'd say, I mean, I think that'd be true of other municipal courts. I mean, again, you know, something committed in, you know, one municipality is not going to presumably be tried in another municipality.
Clinton is, well, that's another municipality, but, you know, something that happens over here can't go to the municipal court in Clinton, can it?
I think that's right, Your Honor, but I think it only confirms that
You ever been to a municipal court?
I haven't had the good fortune yet, Your Honor. But
I hope you have that good fortune. But let me ask you this. If this is an inferior court to the circuit court, this court can do some things the circuit court can't do, can't it?
Well, it's the Supreme Court, so certainly yes, Your Honor.
Well, I mean under the terms of this statute. Have you ever heard of a circuit court in Mississippi sending anybody to a state prison for a misdemeanor?
I mean, I recognize that is a distinction.
Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I have not, Your
Honor.
You would
rise up as the Solicitor General of the state against that, wouldn't you?
Your Honor, I have heard no argument. One thing about not hearing about anything of it is it's quite relevant. I think is the Constitution.
Have you read about it?
I mean, the
Constitution. You read a lot.
Your Honor, the Constitution doesn't say, hey, anybody in a municipal court must go to a county detention center rather than a state prison. You know, again, the CCID, it's a little bit differently.
There is not a municipal court in Mississippi that can put somebody in a state prison for a misdemeanor, is there, sir?
Until this one, Your Honor. But, Your Honor,
this is not a municipal court. The statute doesn't say it's a municipal court.
And I respectfully disagree, Justice Kitchens. The statute doesn't have to say it is a municipal court. And it was sensible for it to sort of describe the ways in which it is a municipal court by reference to jurisdiction, qualifications, compensation.
Isn't it true that if a person is convicted of a misdemeanor in this CCID court and is sentenced to serve some time, even if it's just 1 day or 30 days or whatever it is, the statute says that defendant goes to the state prison over in Rankin County?
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. And if that same thing happened in the municipal court of the city of Jackson, that defendant would go to the city jail or perhaps to the county jail out at Raymond.
And the legislature is entitled to take those different approaches, Your Honor.
Yes,
Counselor, let me bring out one point, if I may. I served over 10 years as a municipal judge in 3 different municipalities, and most of these misdemeanor statutes require, if there's jail time, many of them state shall be in the county jail, X number of days in the county jail. So how does this statute have the authority to directly contradict these existing statutes that a municipal court judge can never send anyone to the penitentiary because they're misdemeanors, and the misdemeanors call for imprisonment in the local county jail?
Sure, Your Honor. So 2 observations. I mean, one is I want to be just a little careful not to step in an area that we haven't kind of traded blows over, so to speak, in the briefing. But I'd make 2 observations. One is, again, the legislature can carve out a different approach in this statute, and you know that's possible. To the extent there is a conflict, I think a court presented with this issue would try to see, is there a really conflict? Can this be resolved? Is this a more specific statute that sort of like beats out the more general statute, so to speak? So I think there are tools to address that issue in kind of the normal way that you're kind of resolving statutes when there's at least an apparent conflict, Your Honor. So I think Your Honor raises an important point. It's not one that's been pressed here, and I do think there would be tools to kind of address how things play out for the CCID court. And if there's more the legislature would need to do, surely that remains an option to say, like, okay, you know, let's build out this statutory structure just a bit. But I think, Justice Ishii, that would be the way to see. With that, I know I've gone well.
Let me see if anybody else has a question.